giant trevally. I've personally been lucky enough to chase after GT all over the globe, and now we are presented with the opportunity to do so in a place I know little about. Hooking a GT is an unforgettable experience, unlike any bite I've ever encountered. In a few hours, we embark on a 12-day mission to the Red Sea. We thank you for watching this series, and we will see you guys in Sudan. As always, keep fishing, never stop. Today is day number 11 on the Red Sea. Let me catch you guys up to speed. Over the past 3 days at sea, I've really been dedicating all of my efforts to trying to get either a very large GT or a very large dogtooth tuna. Two fish that I set out to catch before I came here to Sudan. Both very difficult fish to catch, not only to locate and entice and bring up to the surface, but also just to land. They're big fish. You know, a good GT is like 30 to 40 kilos, but a monster is 50 plus. As for the dogfish, those guys can get up to, don't quote me on this, but I want to say 100 kilos. For US guys, that's over 200 pounds. It's a huge fish. We're talking about a fish that you catch on the end of a rod and reel. So that's kind of been the goal for the past 2 days. And with this goal in mind, you have to dedicate pretty much all your time from AM to PM, either jigging or popping, and that's exactly what myself and Ben set out to do.
I'm feeling strong enough to bring the world into. Feels like ever since we left this place, young, wild, and ready to make our way. Overdressed another day.
Seeing as you're out in the middle of the sea, wind is definitely a huge factor. But despite the weather, we did manage to catch a few nice giant trevally. Again, nothing that really surpassed that 20 kilo mark, but still, these are fish that I really haven't gotten a chance to catch in probably over a year and a half. So I'm stoked regardless of the size. Just annihilated the bobber. My God. We then switched up gears and put away the popping rods and did a little bit of jigging, which I'm very foreign to. Popping is something that I'm not really used to doing, of course, but then jigging is a whole nother world for me. So I feel like I was kind of learning on the fly here. I guess beginner's luck was on my side because we did manage to catch a very nice dogtooth tuna, probably one of my biggest ones of the trip.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's better. Oh, that's better. That's better. That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Come on, Betty.
Oh, was there another one with it?
There's another one with him?
There was another one with it.
Oh yeah, there is. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good doggy.
It's a good doggy, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes, man. Got him. Woo! Let's go, baby. Oh, yeah. That's what we needed. Ew. That is what we needed. That's a doggy. That's a doggy. Yeah, we're talking. That's a doggy.
You can tell how they get their names. Their teeth are hardcore, definitely meant for killing, chomping, biting other little bait fish to pieces. And in this scenario, he decided to take my 250 gram jig in about 200 feet of water. It was very cool. Definitely a bucket list fish, and I'm glad I got to take it off. Even though they get much bigger, I was stoked on that one, no doubt. Then after the dogtooth tuna, it was a lull. Just nothing really. The wind continued to pick up, and it just seemed as if the fish weren't biting. And the most frustrating part about it is we're fishing these beautiful reefs, we're fishing areas that Ben and I both know that fish are present, but they're just not cooperating for whatever reason. Weather dictates everything when it comes to fishing, and even though the weather may seem like it's okay and the sun is shining and it's warm, that wind just, I don't know, had the fish a little bit iffy. Therefore, we just couldn't rise any fish. not even a strike or two. It'd be one thing if we were missing fish and just not capitalizing on opportunities, but these fish just weren't showing themselves, which is the most difficult part to wrap your head around. We packed it up and called it a day after a long day of fishing and decided to start fresh. So going into day number 3, I was wiped, not gonna lie. My pops weren't as strong, my elbow was a bit kinked, the wind was blowing even harder, if you can even believe that. It just started off pretty slow. We jigged up a few dogtooth. Ben, I think, caught a nice little GT on a reef, but yeah, it was slow. We came back to the mother boat for some lunch, and I was thinking to myself, like, wow, it's like, what do I want to do here? Do I want to keep popping? We still have like at least 3 more days left in this trip. How do I want to allocate my time? Especially when I'm making videos for you guys, it's tough to think, you know, do I want to chase after a personal goal, that being catching one of these big giant trevally or possibly a dogtooth tuna, or do I want to make something that I think that you guys will find a little bit more relatable and enjoyable? Really racking my head. I was like, what the hell? How do I want to approach the rest of this trip? But I thought, you know what, we're gonna give it one more shot. We've got like 2.5 hours, 3 hours left to pop. So we steamed on over to a different reef, a much bigger, longer reef. I jumped in the boat without Ben this time, just me, Alex, and our skipper, Mahmoud, who is an awesome dude. He definitely likes seeing the big fish eat. So I felt like I wasn't only doing this for myself, but also for Mahmoud and Alex behind the camera. Started working this reef edge where there was a ton of wind and current, and sure enough, got destroyed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good fish. Do not do that, bro. Do not do that. Do not. Do not do that. Oh my god, that's a good fish. That's a good fish, dude. Oh. Oh. Good fish, GT. Oh yeah.
As soon as I got that bite, I knew that this was a fish I did not want to lose.
Yeah. Oh, help me out here. Help me out here. Just put it back on there. Put it back on there. Just hold it. Just hold it. Good grip on it. Okay. Not with your hands that way. There you go. We're good. You're good? Kind of. It's a big dog. Oh my god, dude. If I land this thing, it'll be a f***ing miracle. He's right there. Oh, he's not giant, but it's a good one. Nice. Me. Holy shit. Yes! Yes! You got him? Woo! Yes! Thank you. Ah, Mahmoud. Holy shit.
That's all of 20 points.
Yeah, it's a good one, no doubt. Look at the little remoras on him. Whoa, buddy! Look at that. That is a nice GT, man. 3 days searching for a fish like this, and we finally found one. Didn't really anticipate the whole fucking reel flying into the air, but thanks to Alex and Mahmoud for backing the boat up and getting the reel back on the rod. Holy, that was a gong show. Good fish, probably just shy of 20 kilos, pushing 40 pounds for you US guys. Wow, that's a good fish. Look at that. Unbelievable, man. Didn't think I'd land this guy. Wow, does it feel good. All right. Oh, kicking going, there he goes. Like a rocket. Whoo! Thank you, Mahmoud. Man, two things that made that catch possible. One of which, Mahmoud backed the boat up when the reel fell off. It didn't fly off. It literally soared off into the fucking sunset. And then Alex coming there and threading it back on so we could land that fish. I was certain it was like a 40 kilo. I thought it was really big, but still a 20 kilo, 18 kilo fish. Beautiful, so freaking beautiful. And to be GT-less for like 3 days, that makes it all worth it. Oh, I'm cranked now, let's go get some more.
By some miracle, we happened to land this fish. I don't know how. It should not have been a caught fish, but I guess I got a little bit of good luck from the Red Sea, a little bit of good grace, and we did manage to land it, and it was definitely one of the biggest GTs that I feel like I've caught thus far. Not by much, but still an unreal fight. And the take was amazing. The take was so sweet. That fish came up in annihilated the bait right when I least expected it. And it's one of the reasons why I love these fish so much, is they keep you on your toes 100%. Every single bite, I feel like just a rush of adrenaline. Doesn't matter how big or small. It's a fish that I'll never stop loving, and it's one of the reasons why I've got him tattooed on the side of my shoulder. I may or may not have been sober for this tattoo, but I don't regret it whatsoever. After that fish, we celebrated, gave Mahmoud a hug for being an amazing skipper and backing that fish out, while Alex and I were dealing with the calculation of a reel setup that I had going on. Then we went right back to popping. It was the momentum that I needed to keep going. On day number 3 after popping and jigging, I needed a kick. I needed a kick in the ass, and that GT really gave it to me. So I continued to pop. 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by. Right on the 20th minute, it happened again.
Oh my God. No, oh my. Oh, he hit it again. Oh my God. That was so dirty. That was so dirty. Oh, okay. Okay. He's right there. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. Came in it twice. Okay. Decent fish too. Okay. It's a good fish, my God. It is a bigger GT. Woo! Brought some action, boys. That's a good fish. Oh, stop that, stop. Stop that. Oh, it's a oh my God. Thank you. Well, if there's one thing that is on my side today, it's luck. Luck and Mahmoud are both on my side today. The weather, the fishing's been tough, but wow, am I getting lucky. That was a pulled hook out of the mouth, and then a second attempt on a GT about as big as the last one. Really good fish, man. Check this guy out. Hell yeah, dude. This right here is fishing in the Red Sea. Holy moly. He's a bit lighter than the last one, but the fight was just as intense. Man, these fish make you give absolutely everything. 125% of all your fishing power has to go into landing these guys, and even the size that are about this big sometimes go harder than the bigger ones. Just a legendary fish, and to catch 2 back to back like that is epic. Epic. The teeth. Nice little quarter kick, and she's gone. Whew. Thank you, Mahmoud. Bah, we're getting them. We are getting them.
All those fishless drops and all those biteless pops really made it kind of worthwhile just for those 2 bites. Those 2 bites at the end of day number 3 as the sun set. You know, ending on a high note is way worth it than having 3 consecutive days of just non-stop action. I felt like I, in a way, kind of earned that bite. And it was just cool, man. It's just cool to go into a place I've never been to before, fishing with people that I don't get to fish with that often, chasing after fish that I seldom have the opportunity to hunt down. This is a fish I get to chase once a year if I'm lucky. And to be able to dedicate 3 days going for that fish, just popping, is pretty epic. But yeah, and I guess to sum it up, I'm sorry, I'm reading off my notes here a little bit. I've been writing down notes every single day. One of the questions I want to ask myself before ending this video is what I thought of the trip so far overall. And it's tough, it's really tough to kind of put into one sweet synopsis, one sweet summary. But I would say it's definitely a trip that I'm so glad I went on. I think 2 months before this trip, I was very unsure of going to Sudan and fishing new waters. There's always a bit of reluctancy going on these big sends, just because, you know, you're really putting yourself in a vulnerable spot going to an area that you've never been to before, fishing after fish that you don't know much about. But I'm glad I'm here. And whether it's chasing after little triggers on the flat or popping for giant trevally, I have fun doing either or, and I don't regret a single thing about this trip thus far.
You know, the Red Sea is just amazing, and I really love coming back every year. It's just, especially now with the South, I've never been here before, so it's just a new, amazing place to go and visit. So yeah, that's been crazy already, and I mean, you saw some places that I've never seen in my life either, so walking on them for the first time was really special, so I'll remember it for a while.
We leave in 34 minutes. Back home. Sudan was fun, but on to the next thing.